A compassionate approach to Colorado's opioid crisis.
They want the hurt to stop and just going about it the wrong way.
How one clinic is closing the addiction treatment gap using lessons learned firsthand.
We've got to push to let everybody know what's available and how we can help and turn their lives around.
Hurricane Ian isn't finished yet.
Those lots right there, those were homes, those were hotels, those were real property.
The storm now making landfall in South Carolina as millions of Floridians are left dealing with the aftermath.
It's surreal. I mean, events like these you don't think can happen to you.
Good evening, and thank you for watching Denver 7 News on Local 3. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
And I'm Amy Wattis. This week, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency issued a warning about life-threatening rainbow fentanyl that's targeting children. Tonight, the agency confirming it's made its way to Colorado.
The DEA's Rocky Mountain Division says from May this year to early September, they seized hundreds of thousands of counterfeit pills. Of that, 60,000 confirmed lethal doses of fentanyl. He says much of it is being bought and sold online for as cheap as $1 a pill. And tonight, in an exclusive interview with Denver 7's CB Cotton, Special Agent in Charge Brian Besser confirms the latest trend. Rainbow fentanyl has been found in our state.
We have seen rainbow fentanyl through some of our undercover deals right now. We're trying to ferret that out. We want to locate any and all supplies that are coming into the 4th-state region and aggressively bring these people to justice.
And to give some more scope to this problem, police in Pasadena, California announced today they seized 328,000 rainbow-colored fentanyl pills in just the past week. Last Friday in Colorado, Mesa County deputies arrested a man with 90,000 blue fentanyl pills and 2 pounds of fentanyl powder.
Yeah, fentanyl is a major driver in Colorado's increase in deadly overdoses that claimed the lives of 905 Coloradans in 2021. That's a 68% increase from the year prior.
September is National Recovery Month, and as we wrap up the month, a local recovery center wants to remind people help is out there when it comes to substance abuse.
I sat down with 2 people who turned their struggles into making a difference.
Getting sober is the easy part. Realistically, we can give you the tools, the medication, everything there, but staying sober is the hard part.
Sally Gibbons knows this struggle all too well. The 27-year-old started experimenting with drugs at a young age, then became addicted to heroin.
I was probably about 11 or 12 years old when I first started popping pills. I was depressed as a child and didn't know where to go for help.
She finally got the help she needed at the age of 21.
I think the biggest deciding factor for me is I didn't want to die anymore. So at 21, my grandmother looked at me and she had said, "Sally, every single time you pick up that drug, I want you to think of my face."
Since then, she has turned her pain into purpose as an office administrator through Urban Peaks Rehab in Denver, using her experiences to help others currently going through what she did.
As somebody who's been an addict and been in those moments of desperation, guilt, the shame, it makes it easier for the new clients coming in who are feeling guilty and the shame from society.
Gibbons says Dr. Chad Johnston, the owner of Urban Peaks, brought her aboard for that very reason. And after going through addiction struggles of his own for many years, he wanted to give back. That's how Urban Peaks was born.
We are strictly outpatient. People will come in, be evaluated, and I'll deal with them with their medications, and then we get them set up with therapy. The therapy is a vital component because they've got to address what that issue is.
Dr. Johnston says that issue comes from deep within.
They're doing this because they hurt, and they're trying to relieve the internal suffering.
He says out of the 250 clients his clinic is working with now, most are using fentanyl, and the age is getting younger and younger. Stats from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment show that more than 900 people in Colorado died from an opioid containing fentanyl in 2021, going up from over 540 the year before. Gibbons fears the fentanyl crisis isn't going away anytime soon. She says the solution is getting to the root of the cause, mental health and education. One thing she's doing is sharing videos from her struggles on Urban Peak's TikTok page to appeal to the younger audience, stressing that awareness is so important not only during the month of September, but all year long.
If you give them the tools and educate them and instill fear in them that you'll die if you touch this substance, you most likely will die, then that's the hope, that it will scare them straight.
Now, Urban Peaks is also giving out Zimhigh to its clients. It's basically a higher dose of naloxone product to treat opioid overdoses. They say it's become more beneficial as the fentanyl crisis continues to rise in our state.
Wow. A Denver police officer is still recovering in the hospital tonight after being shot in Broomfield yesterday afternoon. Police say the Denver officer was working with the fugitive unit trying to confront a person of interest in a homicide investigation. That person of interest was killed by officers after a shootout. And we know that officer who was shot is a 21-year veteran with Denver police. DPD was not able to provide us with an update on his condition or when he could be released from the hospital. Once we learn those details, we will bring them to you on air and on Denver7.com.
A Fort Collins police detective is expected to recover from serious injuries after a situation Thursday night. Police services say undercover detectives were doing follow-up work related to a case when a man who was an acquaintance of the suspect in the case confronted them. That's when officials say the man hit the detective. The man was detained and interviewed but released. He could face possible charges from the district attorney at the end of the investigation.
Hurricane Ian made landfall in South Carolina this afternoon as a powerful Category 1 storm, bringing damaging winds and life-threatening storm surge.
Yeah, now Ian is now a post-tropical cyclone with winds at 70 miles per hour. Meanwhile, authorities are reporting 33 storm-related deaths in Florida.
And this comes as President Biden pledged the U.S. would do whatever it takes to help Florida recover, stressing the effort would be done as one nation and one America. Morgan Norwood has the latest from Venice, Florida.
After decimating parts of southwest Florida, Ian making landfall in Georgetown, South Carolina, with Category 1 winds of 85 miles per hour, staring down the South Carolina coast, kicking up rough surf on Tybee Island, Georgia. While the southeast feels the wrath of this storm, Ian's devastation in parts of Florida becoming painfully clear.
We started to see the water coming through the windows. I would say it'd take a few days to get everything clean.
Across the state, hundreds of water rescues.
25 helicopters, 25 boats, and over 1,200 of what we call high water vehicles that can really get into those remote areas through water to help rescue people.
And watch as crews pulled this man from piles of rubble and debris in Fort Myers. His wife still missing. In Naples, the power of water on full display. Further inland, a flooding catastrophe, water swallowing homes and businesses in Orlando's Orange County.
I just want the people of Florida to know we see what you're going through and we're with you. We're going to do everything we can for you.
As Florida races to recover, 1,000 FEMA personnel deployed, supplying millions of liters of water, meals, and hundreds of generators.
There's a lot of people that are going to need a lot of help. FEMA has individual assistance for this community, which is important, but they're only allowed to do certain things, so we really want to enlist the help of the private sector to be able to help us and help people get back on their feet.
Venice, Florida hit incredibly hard. A transformer blew here at this mobile home community, bursting into flames. These homes right behind me burning to the ground. Still, 2 million people across the state of Florida without power. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Venice, Florida.
And Ian is one of the most powerful hurricanes to ever make landfall in the U.S., and already the economic toll is staggering. Officials are assessing the damage, but early estimates are nearing $70 billion. Now, that is still less than half of Hurricane Katrina from 2005. That one caused $161 billion in damage. Help is on the way to Florida. President Joe Biden approved a request to expedite a major disaster declaration. More than 8,700 people have already registered with FEMA for help.
And you can help people impacted by Ian. Denver 7 Gibbs is partnering with the Scripps Howard Fund for hurricane relief. To donate, text STORM to 50155 and then follow the prompts. You can also scan the QR code on your screen or visit denver7.com/hurricane relief.
Colorado is under a disaster declaration again because of the bird flu. This virus hit a facility with more than 1 million birds in Weld County last week. The bird flu kills 90% of infected birds, so the USDA is sending teams to destroy all of the poultry there. Governor Polis also issued a disaster declaration in April when the virus hit a different facility in Weld County and also one in Montrose County.
A controversial new drug designed to slow the process of ALS is now FDA approved. ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, is a rare disease that leads to destruction of nerve cells that control voluntary muscle movements and can affect the ability to chew, walk, breathe, and even talk. It weakens muscles over time, leading to paralysis and often death in several years if breathing muscles are affected. In just one small clinical trial, patients treated with the drug Relyvrio experienced a 25% slower rate of decline in performing activities like walking, talking, and then even cutting food. Most people with ALS die within 3 to 5 years. Only a handful of drugs have been approved to treat it.
Showers, a few thunderstorms out there tonight. Mountains may see some snow this weekend.
From edible packaging to cereal glitter, this store is selling some sweet stuff.
It's when your vision comes to life and you get to see it, it's a surreal feeling.
We check out this pop-up shop that's highlighting unique products you won't see at your neighborhood grocery store.
And I feel like grocery shopping is like one of my favorite things to do, and this is like paradise.